Hey folks, Danny Rosa here with a 1987 Alfa Romeo Milano 2.5 V6. And we picked this car up for about the same price as you could buy an unassembled knockoff Chinese 150cc scooter. And let me tell you something, when I was a kid these cars were around and I never paid them any mind, and I wish I did. These things are probably one of the best kept secrets in the automobile world. V6, 2.5 liter, plenty of power. This has a manual transmission. It's rear-wheel drive, and the transmission is in the back. So it has like 50-50 weight distribution. This thing handles phenomenal. And it handles really good. And this is a poor example of one. So I'm kind of surprised. And this car came from Maryland. The guy that I bought it from bought it off of eBay. Drove down to Maryland, DC area, picked it up. Drove it back to Connecticut. Didn't have it that long. And then I found it on Craigslist. And I bought it. I may have paid a little bit too much for it. But considering that I didn't have to ship it, I pretty much got it for free once you figure in the shipping costs. And there's not too many of them around here. And I just wanted something I could play with. I kind of like junk. So got 115,000 miles. A lot of people knock these cars for being unreliable, but if you maintain them and just keep them in a good state of tune, and it doesn't seem that difficult to maintain this car. I've been watching these things on Craigslist now and on eBay. I've seen these things. I saw one the other day with 399,000 miles on it. So not a bad car. So that's the Busso V6. And when I started researching about this car, everybody talked about how great this engine sounds. Like it's one of the best sounding engines of all time. And you know what? They're right. This thing does sound pretty awesome. And this car's got quite a bit of rust though, folks. You can see there under the tray. That's rusted. It's all rotted right through. I bought it knowing that. But like I said, for what I paid for this thing, I'm gonna have fun with it. I might get a welder, try my hand at welding. I've gotten pretty good at turning wrenches. As long as I got the time, I could do it. I've never welded. This would be a good car to have fun with welding. And there's quite a bit of rust on this car. So when you're buying these, not just these cars, but any old car, watch out for rust. It's easy to turn wrenches. It's hard to fix like something like this. You know, that's all rotted out. You can see, it's all rotted out right there. And then you can see this is all rotted out right here. And again, I knew this getting into this car, but again, you know, I always wanted an Alfa. I wanted to experience this engine, and I did on the cheap, you know. There's some more rust under here. Yeah, rotted right. This is not even the worst of it. It's funny, this car came with interior's pretty nice. This car came with a stack of paperwork, and it was over like $30,000 recent receipts spent on this car. So this car, and it's a one-owner car. So whoever had it took care of this car, and you can see here. And then this is the worst of it. Let's get under here. Yeah, when you get these cars, you gotta like look at that. So this car, I was looking at the paperwork, it was like hit And I think what happened was that they did a poor repair job. Look at that. All that. It's just rust. Goes quite a way back to get to good metal there. That's all rusted there. Up here, that's all rotted. So what happened, this car was in an accident. And because there's a receipt for repair. And you can see how this line here, and I think water's been getting in here. So if this car sits in the rain, water definitely gets in the trunk here. You know, you compare this line, which is not perfect, to that line, you could see. And that's and then a lot of rust. A lot of rust in there. Underneath, actually, the car looks pretty good, other than what I've shown you. I'm curious to see how far back this goes. But that's a lot of rust. Nice tire. A lot of rust. The cool stickers here, they look pretty good. See a little damage right there. What's cool about this, and if you want a tip on how to keep your hubcaps on, just use some zip ties. Actually, in one of the receipts, one of the technicians wrote that they had to cut the zip ties off to get the hubcaps off. Oh, boo-hoo. This door on this side looks pretty good. So who knows, maybe that water damage, that rust is from the collision. Door's starting to rust under there. Also, this car, I don't know, again, I gotta get into it, but you see how see the wheel over there? And look at this one, kind of tucks in. That's the height on this side is off. And this was hit here because there was some, in the history of the car, there was some issue about it being hit here. And you can see the rust. There's rust here too. Rust everywhere. But whatever, it's a cool car. All right, let's start her up. Starts up every time. You can hear how rough she is, but that's only at idle. Sounds like there's an exhaust leak. Something's rattling under there. She sounds pretty good. Alright folks, thanks for watching my video, and stay tuned because I'll be posting some more projects about this car.